the platform. I don't know if you can see the platform on your end. We have Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. We are live. Okay. Let's wait for a few minutes so people are connected. People said salam earlier. Yeah. Salam alaikum. Hello, everyone. Salam alaikum, everyone. Marhaba bikum. My name is Dr. Sousan Shaddadi, and we are here for the live with Dr. Amina Douidi. Le but تاع le live تاع اليوم هو نهضروا على le cours تاعنا تاع limitless learning اللي راح يبدا le 4 août إن شاء الله. It is for university professors. دونك الأساتذة تاع الجامعة اللي حابين يبداو يقريو in English. This course is for you. أمال أمولة سلام سلام. ياسمين سلام عليكم. Merci. Hi. عليكم السلام. Amina, can you see the comments on the sidebar? Perfect. Good, good, good. Okay, people are joining in slowly. على بالي عندكم سخانة واليوم premier jour de la semaine تاع الخدمة ولا القراية ولا واش عندكم ديروا donc it's not easy. دونك درناها على 8 تاع الليل كم تكونوا شوية ريحتوا إن شاء الله. مروان بالتوفيق. شكرا مروان شكرا. Let's wait another minute. بعد نبدأ إن شاء الله. مرحبا بكم. So الناس اللي راهم معنا please تقدروا تحطوا لي كومنتات تاعكم في لكن راكم في فيسبوك ولا يوتيوب ولا لينكدين ولا تويتر جست حطوا لي كومنتات تاعكم نقدروا نشوفوهم en même temps. Donc نبدا avec une petite présentation rapide. نهضر لكم شويه على limitless learning وعلى le cours تاعنا. ومن بعد je vais présenter الأستاذة أمينة دويدي اللي راهي معنا اليوم. And then نعطيو لها الكلمة لكن حبت كاش ما تزيد حوايج دي انفورماسيون على واش هضرت انايا. And then نعطيكم مجال باش you ask any questions posez les questions تاعكم على le cours تاع university professors. Okay, let's get started. Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Again, today we're going to talk about English as a medium of instruction for university professors. Le cours هذا c'est 4 semaines intensives. يبدأ من le 4 août حتى le 28 août إن شاء الله. My name is Dr. Sousan Shaddadi. I am the CEO and co-founder of Limitless Learning, which is the Algerian Institute of Professional Skills. All the information تلقاهم في www.limitlesslearning.us. We are an e-learning platform which provides professionals, students, companies, and universities in Algeria with world-class hands-on training in the fields of technology, communication, diversity, and inclusion. Les cours تاعنا دركا اللي راهم disponible عندنا cyber security, conversational English, English for professors اللي راح نهضروا عليهم اليوم, and AI foundations as well as Python coding. كي تكملوا les formations مع Limitless Learning, you get a certificate of completion signed by myself as well as the instructor. In this case, Dr. Amina Douidi will be signing your certificate. You will be able to use the certificate in your professional advancement. You will be holding the certificate, which means that you have completed the hours and have the skills needed for the specific course you are taking. La plateforme تاعنا نستعملوا Google platform. Everything is through the Google platform workplace. لازم يكون عندك جيميل account باش تقدر تدخل Google Classroom and Google Meet. We will be using Google Calendar as well as Google Chat باش à chaque fois يكون عندك une question تقدر تهضر directement مع الأستاذ تاعك. And c'est ça l'avantage الكبير تاع limitless learning. We highly recommend you attend live sessions. Donc le cours تاعكم راح يكونوا on live معناتها لازم تحضر عندنا specific time عندنا programme باش تحضر مع الأستاذ تاعك. Mais bien sûr لكن عندك des exceptions ما تقدرش تحضر نقدر نعطيو لك recording. Mais the recording is not expected. C'est pas automatique. On vous encourage باش تحضروا in person live with your instructor. Une question جاني بزاف at limitless learning هي علاش ما نروحش نقرا باطل؟ There are so many thousands and millions of classes online for free. علاش نجي نقرا بالدراهم at limitless learning? So here are the main reasons. Number one is the high quality content. The content تاعنا ماشي copier-coller من l'internet, c'est un contenu qui a été étudié et développé par nos experts. We have expert instructors. For example, today we have Dr. Amina Douidi, who is an expert in her field. She has a PhD. We don't just have people coming and teaching with little experience. We have people who are experts in their subject matter. You have the ability to ask questions. كي تشوف des vidéos en ligne في YouTube battle ما عندكش l'opportunité باش تسقسي les questions تاعك live للأستاذ هذاك. It's interactive and personalized learning معناتها personnalisé dans le sens où le contenu تاع le cours راح يكون personnalisé to your needs. You have immediate feedback لكن عندك غلطات درتهم ولا you need improvements, you will have immediate feedback for your learning. And then lastly, you have the opportunity to network. Network معناتها تقدر تتعلم من your peers, الناس اللي راهم يقراو معاك. خاطر our learners are everywhere in the world. They are Algerians, but they are based everywhere in the world. So le cours اللي راح نهضروا عليه اليوم هو English as a medium of instruction for university professors. C'est quoi le cours هذا? C'est un cours de 4 semaines intensif. Normalement, on 8 semaines, mais ça, c'est le troisième groupe اللي راح نخدموا معاه, troisième groupe de professeurs اللي راح نخدموا معاه في هذا le sujet. Ou 4 weeks, parce que pendant l'été, راكم في الصيف عندكم des vacances, donc تقدروا تركزوا على un sujet, un module, وتكملوه in 4 weeks. It is designed to help higher education lecturers in Algeria. يعني ماشي لازم تكون un professeur, تقدر تكون un assistant, تقدر تكون un étudiant en doctorat وحبيت تقري يعني comme assistant في le domaine تاعك ولا في le département تاعك تقدر تدير le cours هذا باش تتعلم تقري en anglais. It's for lecturers in Algeria who want to integrate English in their teaching practice. Participants will learn about different theories, pedagogies, and strategies necessary to create an effective learning environment where English is the medium of instruction. Donc, le terme principal هنايا في الكور هذا هو EMI, English as a medium of instruction. راح نسمعوا بزاف لو terme هذا اللي هو la nouvelle stratégie تاع الجزائر باش نبداو في سبتمبر إن شاء الله نقريو en anglais. Donc, هادو c'est le niveau de langue anglaise in terms of English language acquisition levels. عندك le niveau de A0 هو starter to niveau C1 اللي هو واحد advanced. Pour le cours هذا لازم يكون عندك un niveau entre A2 et B1 minimum. معناتها تقدر تفهم واحد كيهضر لونجلي ماشي لازم فورسيمون تهضر مليح لونجلي مي لازم تفهم واحد كي يليكسبليك ان كور en anglais comme ça تقدر تكون à l'aise في le cours هذا. So what are the course objectives? Les objectifs تاع le cours هذا وش هما؟ We need to understand the principles of the Algerian language policy with regards to EMI. Donc again, le cours هذا il existe partout dans d'autres plateformes. Mais هذا it's tailored for Algerian professors and teachers and lecturers. Donc c'est pour les Algériens, pour le contexte algérien. It identifies the challenges and opportunities of EMI. It examines the language beliefs and practices that support an integration of EMI. It evaluates pedagogical practices from different contexts that facilitate EMI. It implements the language and pedagogical strategies in one subject area. It creates a strategy to integrate EMI in one's teaching practice. And then lastly, which is one of my favorite topics, understand the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion in Algerian context, and the role of EMI in internationalization. So these are the course objectives. As you can see, they have been designed by Dr. Amina Douidi, and this is a course designed specifically for Algerian professors. Donc le programme, c'est quoi? Le programme هو عندكم تقراو 2 fois par semaine خاطر c'est un cours intensif pendant 4 semaines. Donc en tout et pour tout عندكم 8 séances 2 fois par semaine pendant 4 semaines. Le programme راح يكون بالجمعة وبالاثنين من 8 ل 10 تاع الليل Algeria time. تبداو le 4 août ان شاء الله pendant 4 semaines jusqu'au 28 août. How much does it cost? Donc le cours هذا يسوى 39 900 بصح لو كان تسجلوا قبل le 28 juillet ان شاء الله عندكم une remise تاع 10 000 دينار. Donc le cours راح يكون à 29 900 قبل le 28 juillet ان شاء الله. تقدروا تخلصوا à travers CCP, carte de crédit الناس اللي راهم في الخارج ولا PayPal, وتقدروا même تخلصوا à travers CPA. J'ai oublié de mettre ici, mais we have the opportunity to pay through CPA now. Voilà. We do have a special offer today. خاطر ورا اللايف هذا عندنا un autre live مع أستاذة دكتور سهام روابح اللي عندها un autre cours تاع English. Donc par exemple اليوم là كان vous prenez les 2 cours تاعنا at limitless learning, عندنا كان cours تاع EMI مع دكتور أمينة دويدي اللي سوا 29900 تقراو بالجمعة وبالاثنين. Le deuxième cours اللي هو conversational English مع الأستاذة دكتور سهام روابح راح يسوى 25900 تقراو بالسبت والاربعاء. Donc vraiment là كان حبيتوا vous améliorer votre anglais parler يعني conversation English en parallèle مع تقراو la pédagogie وال EMI مع دكتور أمينة دويدي. I think this is the best opportunity parce que تقراو في le mois d'août هذا تدخلوا la rentrée إن شاء الله سبتمبر واجدين pour l'enseignement في الجامعة الجزائرية. Now is the time to introduce our instructor here, who is Dr. Amina Douidi. Very proud that Amina Douidi has joined our team back in a few months ago, and we have had a successful group with her, and students loved it. Like, vous êtes curieux على reviews على limitless learning, روحوا Google Maps, tapez limitless learning Algeria, تشوفوا what people think about limitless learning. So I'm gonna go ahead and introduce Dr. Amina Douidi. ومن بعد نعطي لها الكلمة وراها نقدروا نديو لي كيستيون تاعكم. All right. So Dr. Amina Douidi, marhaba. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us today. She is a diversity, equity, and inclusion and intercultural communication consultant in English language teaching. She holds a PhD in modern language and applied linguistics from the University of Southampton in the UK, where she is currently based, and a joint MA in ELT from Tlemcen University and University of Balearic Islands in Spain. She is a DEI, so Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion reviewer for ELT publishers, and teaches pre-sessional English for academic purposes at UK higher education institutions. She is an associate fellow of advanced higher education and acts as co-editor of the TESOL ICIS newsletter, championing contributions of teachers and researchers from the global majority. Thank you so much, Amina. Please go ahead and if you have something to say for us, and thanks again for being here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shaddadi, for having me and for the nice introduction. We could also add that I am now an EMI instructor at Limitless Learning. I think we should add that to the bio, don't we?
Definitely.
So thank you everyone for joining us. This is a huge opportunity for us to discuss the very debated topic, which is English introduced in higher education in Algeria. There are people who are resisting it, people who are welcoming it, people who are not really sure whether it's a good approach or not. But the change is coming, it's happening now, and that's what my course is about. I would like to share with you some more details about the course. And while I am presenting the course, maybe we could look at the comment section and you can put in questions about the content of the course, but general questions about the transition that Algeria is experiencing from moving teaching STEM subjects, in particular from French to English, and what kind of challenges you feel will be faced by our lecturers, instructors, and teachers and professors in Algerian universities. So let me start by sharing my.
We do have quite a few questions already. Thank you guys for asking questions. Snowbark Amina تكمل her presentation, and we can move on with answering your questions. Thank you.
I will try to be very brief and explicit, as this is just a repetition of what you've already presented, the course objectives. So we decided to call it English as a medium of instruction for university professors because it's not a language class. We don't teach English in this session. In these sessions, we rather help you identify strategies and solutions on how you can integrate English in your teaching in a very progressive way. So, the first step is identifying your beliefs and the kind of challenges you feel you will be facing in your teaching experience and in your teaching in English, and the kind of fears that you have about, it's very vulnerable to teach in a language where you're not very comfortable. So the idea here is that we will equip you with the tools and the solutions that will help you transition in a very smooth way. The course has various learning objectives that get spread out throughout the different sessions. The first, maybe big pillar, is understanding the beliefs and the challenges of transitioning to English. And then the second pillar is about the solutions that you can start integrating right away. That could be pedagogical. In that case, kind of strategies and how can you design your lessons in a way that makes the use of English optimal. And then we have another pillar, which is how can you adapt the use of English in your own subject matter. And Sosan's favorite one is talking about the diversity in our classrooms and why actually we're moving to English. Um, the simple solution would be internationalization, but the project is bigger than that. So, internationalization means that the Algerian university is opening its door to international collaborations, to also international students who would be coming more and more, hopefully, to the Algerian campus in order to study most of the subject matters that are already offered at university. So um, the it's 8 sessions for a whole month from the 4th of August to the 28th of August. But these 8 sessions are divided in 6 modules. So the module 1 is an introduction to EMI in an Algerian context. The second module is about language proficiency and how you can improve yours. The third module is about pedagogy. Pedagogy, we do it in two sessions. So we have part 1 and part 2. All these modules are research informed. So the course is informed by what is happening out there in the world of English as a medium of instruction around the world. So I inform my practice with research as much as I can, but I also provide practical solutions and advice on how you could do that. But you also have a chance to teach during the course. So we have something called micro teaching. This was a great opportunity to see how the university lecturers could use English in their specific subject area. It was very interesting. You have peer feedback. And then finally, we end by talking about how you can be inclusive of the different student populations and how you can continue your professional development after you finish this course. So, in a nutshell, that's what the course is about. I'm happy to take questions now if you want.
Oh, thank you, Amina. Thank you so much. That was a great overview, and one of the best things I loved about the last group, le groupe اللي قرأ عند الأستاذة من قبل، إنه les dernières semaines, les dernières séances كانت عندهم l'occasion باش يقريوا like a mock kind of class or teaching session, and ils ont appliqué واش تعلموا في la session في le cours تاع الأستاذة، و ils ont présenté le cours تاعهم chacun dans son domaine en anglais. And that was amazing. We had people from chemistry, I believe, biology, medicine. We even had medical doctors. We had people from different. Donc la spécialité اللي تكون عندك n'importe quelle spécialité تقدر تجي تدير الكور هذا خاطر راح تتعلم كيفاش تقري en anglais rather than learning actual English as a language. هذا هما la différence principale ما بين un cours d'anglais et un cours just, you know, teaching, like learning how to teach in English, which is EMI. Okay, so let's take questions. Okay. Yasmin, you had a question about GPA in American universities. That's not really the topic of today, but it's okay. You can ask the question. Yes, go ahead and ask your question. Hamidou Bun Aouda is saying hi to you, Dr. Amina. And then, okay, let's see. So Karim Bukhara, please help me understand more. Is that you were saying, what is the difference between the English used in Cambridge University and Bab Zuwar University?
Do you want me to take this one?
Please, yeah.
So Bab Zuwar University is situated in Algeria, and the languages spoken in Algeria are Arabic, French, a mix of Arabic and French, but you can also have Amazigh. Language is spoken in the surrounding area by most of the people who are in that space. You have also, in different departments, people speak different languages professionally, and the dominant one has been French so far. So now that we are moving to transition into English as a medium of instruction within the educational sector, higher education in particular. So in Bab Zuwar University, if we take this example, you will have instructors providing the course in English rather than French. Bear in mind that there are some university lecturers that have already been doing this in the past, especially those who got trained in English-speaking countries, and that they couldn't really move away from practicing their profession in English. So, for example, I studied chemistry back in Tlemcen University in long time ago, and we had one university lecturer who was teaching us biology, and he studied in the US, and we had the chance to study chemistry and biology with him in English, while other university lecturers were providing the course in French. So the linguistic landscape can be very dynamic and very different from, let's say, a UK university. We don't talk about English as a medium of instruction in the UK because it is a concept mainly designed or describes, it is a concept that describes the use of English in an environment where English is not spoken outside of the higher education context. So if we are in a UK university, let's say here Karim has mentioned Cambridge University, then the lecturers, if you go outside of the campus, everyone is speaking English predominantly. Therefore, we don't speak about English as medium of instruction. Mm-hmm. We speak about just studying in an English-speaking country with professors who speak English anyway, and you have to deliver your course in English, you have to do your homework in English. When you leave the class, everything is in English around you. So we don't really speak about English as medium of instruction. It's more of a concept designed for countries like ours, where English is not spoken outside of the campus, basically.
Thank you, Dr. Amina. This is a great explanation because we tend to kind of overlook the definition which we have on our website, but EMI is really for countries who do not speak English outside, like what Osira just mentioned. des pays كيما Zaire, other countries have adopted this, like in South Asia, in China, in South America, where they don't speak English outside, but then they use it as a medium of instruction at the university. With the main goal is to integrate the Algerian universities in the global ranking of universities, to give a better chance to Algerian students to compete when English is a medium of instruction, so that English really becomes the language used for science and technology and publications, etc., in Algeria. Because right now it's not the case, it's mostly in French or Arabic. So someone is asking, okay, Maman des Perles, أنا هذا وين دخلت. This is her question. حبيت نسأل كيف تسجيل وما هو المبلغ التعليم. So I just posted the link. هذا وين حطيت له اليوم. أستاذة أنا حطيت لك له اليوم هنايا باش تسجلي. I'm gonna post it again. الدورة تاعنا هذه لو كو تاعها هو 29,900 donc 29,900 dinars if you pay before July 28. Donc 29,900 dinars لو كان تخلصي قبل le 28 juillet من بعد راح تكون 39,900. دونك عندكم يغمس تاع 10,000 دينار خاطر الناس اللي تسجل à l'avance avant le 28 juillet ان شاء الله. دونك هاو لو لين اللي حاب يسجل. اساتذه again هذا سي با ان كور تاع انجلي، سي ان كور تاع الاساتذه باش يولي يقريو en anglais في لا رونتري ان شاء الله. Okay, let's answer Yasmin, because here in Algeria they calculate la moyenne générale by including the dissertation grade. Oh, she's talking about GPA. Okay, I'm gonna answer you quickly, Yasmin. So in the US, the system of grading is through GPA. If you go to Google or ChatGPT and ask them to convert the system that we have, اللي هو sur 20, donc la note sur 20 to US GPA system, you can just convert it, because 20 sur 20, it's not necessarily, so par exemple 15 sur 20 is a really good grade in Algeria, so it will match an A or a B plus in the US. So it's not necessarily like you're just matching the percentage. Donc le pourcentage 100%, c'est pas forcément égal à 20 sur 20. Donc if you go again on Google, they can just convert it for you. If you're applying for US universities, just make sure you include that table of conversion, because it's not the same system. And une note de 12 sur 20 is a fail in the US system, but in Algeria, it's a pretty good grade. So just make sure you clearly identify the two systems and convert accordingly. Okay, so we have Mubashir Silicon Valley. Hi. Hi. Ustad Muad Bouash is saying great. Thank you. So we have GPU is asking, Salam for all of you. What's the secret to accelerate learning? People there speak English anywhere, anytime. Dr. Amina, you want to take this one?
There are plenty of theories of how you could learn. So everyone, depending on their specialty, would tell you, oh, you learn English through movies, or you learn English through traveling, or you learn it. There is no one way of developing your own language proficiency, and whoever says this is the only way and the perfect way is lying to you. So there are hundreds of ways, depending on every individual. It depends about your motivation. It depends on so many things. So you just gotta maybe get into it and start practicing as much as you can. And that's how I learned. So everyone learns differently. So there's no perfect answer to that.
Exactly. نعطيكم l'exemple. أنا قريت أنجلي في جامعة قسنطينة. Donc وقتاش كملت؟ It's been 10 years ملي جي كيتي جامعة قسنطينة. pourtant قريت l'anglais mais كي كملت كنت ما نهدرش l'anglais bien. يعني il y a même pas 10 ans ما كنتش نهدر l'anglais. just so you know باللي you can improve your English. C'est vrai que كي تعيش في بلاد English speaking country like I did in the US, it's very helpful باسكو تسمع الناس، تسمع l'accent تاعهم، تسمعهم كيفاش يهضروا، تصحح روحك بلا ما en fait automatiquement راك في le bain, on se met dans le bain هذاك تاع الناس يهضروا قدامك نتعلموا منهم automatiquement. Mais there is no secret. It's just you know, working on my, like right now, I'm still working on my English. Although people might say, okay, your English is good, I'm still working on it. I ساعات يا دي مو ما نعرفهمش، enfin نعرفهم ما نعرفش comment les prononcer. I just go to Google and click pronounce so that I have the correct pronunciation and I can actually say it correctly. خاطر j'ai remarqué حاجة في les Américains qui ساعات le mot quand on le prononce mal ما يفهموش. Ils n'ont pas tendance à they can't just guess. You have to say it as it should be said. And so I did my best, especially when I was teaching. كنت نقري في الجامعة في الأمريكان ولازم كان لازم عليا je prononce bien sinon ما يفهموش. They cannot understand you. Donc just keep practicing. If you have a chance to go to an English-speaking country, c'est bien, mais c'est pas obligatoire. نعرف الناس اللي jamais راحوا l'Américain ولا l'Angleterre يهضروا très très bien. They speak better than me. So really, just you know, focus on learning and take our courses. Take a class at Limitless Learning. You know, that's one way. We have a conversational class and a live juste ورا هذا مع الأستاذة سهام روابح. C'est un cours vraiment de conversational English. You're just gonna be practicing English for 4 weeks. Okay, Anwar, Madame Sousan, thank you. You're welcome. So I think he's just tagging people. And then maybe my question wasn't clear, Karim. Okay, should have been, but my understanding the English taught in English-speaking countries or otherwise is the same. Anyhow, I'm wishing you the best and all the best of success, Allah willing, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Karim. I think he's referring to your to you answering his question earlier about what's the difference between Cambridge English and English at Babzouar.
Oh, fair enough. So maybe he's speaking about accents or variations. I'm not really sure, but I could address that. Whatever your question is, I can cover different angles and maybe I will answer one of it. So, okay, Karim. Basically, in the field of English as a medium of instruction, research shows that it is something that is practiced, again, as we mentioned earlier, in countries that are not predominantly English speaking. So you will find English as a medium of instruction in India, in China, in Singapore, even though in Singapore, English is spoken widely in the society as well. So maybe in Kazakhstan, in Nepal as well, in a lot of countries in Africa where maybe they are not post-colonial countries, like they don't have a post-colonial relationship with England or with the US. So the thing with the variation of English is localized. So whatever accent is predominant in that space, in that country, you will find it in the classroom. So if it is in Kazakhstan setting, and the teacher is from Kazakhstan, so the teacher will speak as a Kazakhstani who is speaking English. You shouldn't be expecting them to perform their fluency or their proficiency differently than, or expect them to speak the same way somebody who is from Cambridge, teaching in Cambridge University, at Cambridge University, would be speaking. So EMI is something that is very localized and that is influenced by the local cultural linguistic environment where it is used.
Thank you so much. This is it's a very good point. They expect to speak English as a native speaker. I've seen people who are trying to learn Arabic. Including people, les ambassades now in Algeria, they are trying to kind of like, the staff is trying to learn Algerian Arabic. They will always have an accent, right? même يعيشوا هنا 40 سنة يكون دايما عندهم un accent كي يهضروا الجزائرية ولا العربية. C'est la même chose pour nous. تعيش طول حياتك في بلاد واحدة أخرى، كي تكون زدت وكبرت في بلاد اللي not English speaking, you will always have an accent. So the expectation باللي you should speak like an American or a British is good, but um, it's not something that's a goal in itself. I think it's possible, and it's great if you do, but it's not so important. As long as everyone can understand you, as long as you are able to, you know, get the message through, people can understand what you're saying, then it doesn't matter what accent you have. And actually, I firmly believe that accents are a big part of our personality. When you live abroad, people will know that you're not from there, and that's fine. I am very proud of my accent. I'm very proud of who I am, and wherever I go, I'm like, yes, I'm Algerian. I was not born here, and it's a strength. And I'm sure you might have had similar experiences, Dr. Amina, in the UK, where no matter how good your English is, there are words that we don't pronounce like they do. And they will know, like, oh, where are you from? You have an accent, right?
I still say carotte instead of saying carrots. It's so difficult to say carrots. I say carotte. Courgette as well is very hard. I cannot say courgette. It's like I have to say courgette.
You know what they say in the US? They say zucchini. I don't even know where they got it from. It's not even
It's
cool.
Italian. Zucchini is
It's
Italian.
It's zucchini. I'm like, why? Why is it called zucchini? It's courgette or aubergine. It's eggplant.
Eggplant. Well, here it's aubergine.
Aubergine. Yeah. See,
But I still say aubergine because that's how I learned it first.
and they understand it.
And
You
when
know,
someone says, "Oh, you say as if you are French," it's like, "No, I'm not French. I'm Algerian.
we're not French.
I'm not French. I'm Algerian."
Definitely.
Algeria, North Africa.
I think
So
they
yeah.
know more about Algeria in the UK than they do in the US. It's
Well,
closer.
when you go when that's one of the opportunities that EMI will offer and will bring to the universities is will create more interconnection and more transnational relationships so that the world get to know the beautiful things that we have to offer as a country, as people, as cultures as well. So the fact that we are transitioning using this language, it's a chance for us to open our doors and our hearts to the world, but at the same time it's also a chance to us learning from different countries from around the world beyond the US, UK, Australia. But we will be collaborating with African countries, Asian countries, European countries as well, Latin American countries as well. There are plenty of similarities culturally speaking that we have with Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, and English could help us create these relationships. So I think that there is a beautiful vision here, and my goal with this course is one course at a time, one small group at a time, help this transition and make the university lecturers, Algerian university lecturers, feel much more confident when they are teaching in English. So that's the main goal, basically.
I love that. I love that. الكونفيدنس يعني تعطي لهم la confiance en soi باش يتعلموا يقرأوا en anglais devant leurs étudiants. I think that's amazing. We will have professors who are older. يعني l'ancienne génération, la jeune génération جدد هذو كامل اللي just got their PhDs وبداوا يقرأوا. I think it's amazing to have a diverse group, and this is how we create a stronger generation of professors and educators in general. And
Ils sont
Dr.
très courageux.
Yeah, yeah, they are, and resilient too.
Yes, yes. Imagine like a lecturer who has been teaching for 10, 20, 30 years in a certain way, and now they are deciding to be outside of their comfort zone and to start practicing the English, improving their language skills, but also reconsidering their whole teaching approach by through the use of English. So that's it's a vulnerable place to be, and you need to be really brave to step outside of this comfort zone of yours.
Definitely. And you have a great comment from one of your former students. I don't know which one it is. It's a Samsung, but I don't know which one. I think it's Sarah, maybe. So hi Amina, hi Sosan. I thank you for your for this interesting program. I followed this training. It's very helpful, especially in pedagogy. I encourage all my colleagues to subscribe to this program. Amina, thank you for all of what you did for us. I learned a lot with you. I think that that's a great testimony, Dr. Amina, from one of your former students. And if you're wondering why they call us Hi Sels and Hi Amina, because we go on a first name basis. ما كانش لي بروتوكول كي تدخلوا at limitless learning. We just call on a first name basis. They're also professors, donc نعيطوا لبعضنا just par les prénoms. And it's a very friendly environment.
I told them at the beginning of the session, I said, we will become friends, so let's get used to calling each other with our first names. And that's what happened. We really got along very well. The sessions were inspiring. I learned a lot as well. I learned from each one of them, their experiences, their subject matters. Also, the approaches to pedagogy and assessment, it was very interesting. And what happened is that after every session, I would take their feedback on and ask them how would they want to take the course forward. And I have changed a lot of things based on their needs. So, for example, there is a whole module that I modified in order to make sure that their needs were met, and it actually fit pretty well. So that meant that even the quality of my course has improved thanks to their feedback.
Thank you. This is great. And again, if you go to our Google Maps, you will see reviews. And we have Tawfiq Khadran here. He's our top fan. He even joined. We had an in-person on-site training last week in AI for managers in Algeria, in Riba, and Tawfiq Khadran was there. توفيق, if you want to say something, إذا كان عندك حاجة تقولها توفيق تفضل. بعت لنا just commentaire هنايا على بالك comment ça marche. Thank you again. If you have any comments about your training, let us know at Limitless Learning. We're always looking for your feedback. And Anwar Kitfi, he has a comment. There have been TOEFL candidates who got super marks and their accent was just understandable. Yet we cannot deny the fact that having a native-like accent is something preferable.
Sadly, there is discrimination based on accents from around the world. So it's a fact that is sad that we need to challenge, because look how many people are from the inner circle, as we call them, and how many people globally are speaking English. And I think the balance is quite, the difference is quite big. We are the majority who is speaking English, and it is high time for us to empower each other and to empower ourselves to embrace this language, but take ownership of it and become the models, and our language practices become the norm. And this is the only way for us to challenge the status quo, and this is the only way for us to value ourselves, but value each other. So if we are to it is a systematic issue, it is a systemic issue, it is a fact, a sad one, but then we can start individually. We can start by valuing each other. So if there is somebody who speaks in an accent that is maybe unfamiliar to you, go through the effort of accommodating them and learning about their culture and where their accents come from, etc. Be curious, be inquisitive, be respectful of others as well. And this is the only way we can lift each other up.
Thank you, Dr. Amina. This is a great reminder, which kind of falls within the diversity, equity, and inclusion part of your training, because I think في الجزائر عندنا مشكل إنه we don't like difference. I think a lot of countries have this problem, and people think that Algeria is a very homogeneous country, and it can keep alors que non. We have a lot of diversity, within Algeria. It's a very diverse country, from north to south to east to west to center. And it's very, very important to empower each other and to understand each other, no matter where we come from. And حاجة شفتها اللي تبدلت شوية بارابور لي زاني اللي فاتوا انه لي زيكول ناسيونال هادو اللي كاين بزاف لي زيكول، واحدة منهم هي ليكول سوبيريور دي انرجي رينوفلابل اللي رحت شفتها في باتنا. C'est la seule école des énergies renouvelables في الجزائر. And it's, I think they have 35 wilayas, les étudiants représentés dans 35 wilayas في l'école هذه. So it's a very, very diverse school. You have people from all over Algeria, and it's amazing. But I'm sure that it's not easy for them to interact every day. خاطر لازم يسكنوا كامل مع بعضهم، يقراوا كامل مع بعضهم، كامل راهم بعاد على البدايات تاعهم. And of course, diversity, equity, inclusion, understanding, and belonging is much, much needed for Algerian society in general and universities specifically. So,
adding to that, there are a lot of university students who have been in the past few years joining Algerian universities, coming from Tanzania, coming from sub-Saharan Africa mainly, who initially were asked to learn French in order to be part of the subject matters they applied for. But now they would not need to learn French if we are teaching in English. So someone who comes from Tanzania, for example, doesn't expect a British person to teach them in Algerian university. They're expecting an Algerian teacher to teach them, but the English that this Algerian professor will be using should be at least understandable to make sure that this student coming from Tanzania is included in the classroom. So that's the whole idea of it. So if there are 1% of the student population that is not from Algeria, we should include this 1%. And it will improve the learning experience for the whole 100% of the students. That the philosophy around it. And how would you operationalize this? This is what we will be learning in my course.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. So it's, I think this is of course also recommended for leadership positions at the university. If you are like vous êtes chef de département ou عندك some kind of leadership roles at your university, this course is really good for you because you'd be able to understand and to implement the latest techniques when it comes to teaching, to using English as a medium of instruction and learning from the best, and also being able to kind of stay up to date to what's going on outside the world without having to travel. So at Limitless Learning نجيبوا لكم لي كور اون ليني تقراو من الدار لي جور يساعدوكم خاطر سي un jour في الويكاند و un jour pendant la semaine, mais it's from 8 to 10 p.m. يعني من 8 ل 10 تاع الليل كيما دركا. En général الناس يكونوا كملوا خدمتهم كملوا their personal duties and are available to work for 4 hours a week. All right, we have about 10 minutes left, but I thank you guys for your questions. So Soraya is asking how do we get these courses? Yes, Soraya, you can just go here to هذا le cours تاع EMI, c'est un cours pour les professeurs. I just sent you the form. أنا هذا وين حطيت لك الفورمولا تقدري تعملي الفورمولا هذا and you follow the next steps. But le cours هذا راح يبدا le 4 août again إن شاء الله dans quelques jours مع الأستاذة أمينة دويدي. C'est 4 semaines, 2 fois par semaine, 8 séances totales et راح تقراو عندكم 4 heures live مصح عندكم خدمة في Google Classroom. Donc total it's 30 hours تاع خدمة مع الأستاذة. Donc 16 heures live et le reste en Google Classroom. So you will have all the resources, all the readings you need, everything will be posted online. كل شيء راح يكون 100% online. And we will be here to answer any questions you have. Limitless Learning, we have a 24 hours policy. If you have any questions, we will answer you within 24 hours. Donc نجاوبكم rapidement إن شاء الله. and at the end you get a certificate that you can use. And please connect with us on LinkedIn so you can see what we do, especially Dr. Amina Douidi, so you can see what her subject matter is, how she's changing the world with her expertise and knowledge, and one step at a time with an international career, mashallah. And you can see how we are bringing back the experts to make a difference in Algeria remotely. It's all remote. Everything is online. And so you're saying we need to practice the language. Yes, you do need to practice. And the next go ahead, Emma.
Yes, we have a lot of speaking opportunities during the course. So there is the possibility to practice, although I don't teach English, as I mentioned at the beginning, but we have the opportunity to talk, to use our language skills during the whole course, and discuss all these different topics. So we have proficiency, language proficiency, pedagogy, technology, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we will be discussing how you would be integrating English as soon as you finish the course, and how you could continue develop your proficiency, and also how you could continue develop your practice as a lecturer in Algerian higher education setting. We get to talk about the things that you care about. So if you are curious about publishing, all of us will be sharing with each other resources, and that's the networking bit that you talked about at the beginning. So there is a space for all of us to teach each other about new things that we didn't know before. But the program is this: we talk about English as a medium of instruction, how we can individually develop our language proficiency, how can pedagogy help us integrate English progressively, how can technology also help us, especially teach large classes in English. And then you will have a chance to present and teach in a micro teaching session, and we will talk about how this whole EMI mission is the opportunity to include more diverse groups in our classrooms. So that's the program.
Thank you. You just answered the question that Selma is asking, what is the content of the course? You just did a great job in answering that question ahead of time. Thank you. سلمى دونك الأستاذة كانت جست فهم فينا وش راح يكون في الكور هذا في 4 سيمان. سي فريمون باش تنعتكم كيفاش تقريو اون اونجلي في لا رونتري هذه الجايه ان شاء الله. سي با ان كور دونجلي، سي ان كور تاع تقريو اون اونجلي at the university. Okay. Jalloul is asking how about the fees. Donc le fees, le prix تاع le cours هذا راح يكون 29,900 دينار pour 4 semaines intensif 2 fois par semaine تقراو. لكن le prix هذا راح يتبدل le 28 juillet راح يولي 39,900. Donc لكن حبيتوا profiter de la promo هذه, c'est le moment de vous inscrire avant le 28 juillet Inch'Allah. And then someone else is asking how about the question about how to get these courses and how to register. I think that's the question, how to get these courses. Again, we highly recommend إن شاء الله كي تسجلوا تقراو on live مع الأستاذة, خاطر كي تكون عندك l'enregistrement, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, خاطر it's interactive. Donc le cours كي تقرا مع الأستاذة حين تقراو تهضروا معاها, تهضروا مع d'autres apprenants. But if you just watch the recording, you're not gonna benefit as much. Donc I highly recommend you attend in person. باش تشوف, I mean not in person but online, but in live with the teacher. كيما قلت لكم donc deux fois par semaine من 8 ل 10 تاع الليل. You can plan for it بالجمعة and اثنين. That's what we said, I think. But yes, بالجمعة and let me double check. Yes, Friday and Monday. So بالجمعة واثنين تقراو من 8 ل 10 تاع الليل pendant 4 semaines. Comme ça كي تدخلوا la rentrée septembre octobre تكونوا واجدين إن شاء الله. Okay, we have a couple more minutes. Any more questions?
Anwar is mentioning the topic of technology. So basically, when I initially designed the course, there wasn't a section on technology, but it was something that the students, learners have asked about. So how can you use technology efficiently and appropriately in your teaching? And that would also is supposed to help integrate English in your teaching. So we will talk about this from a theoretical perspective. And when you do your teaching, you are expected to use some of these tools that I will be sharing with you, or maybe you already know them, but you will need to be using them in the in order to achieve the goal of your presentation. So yes, we'll talk briefly about technology, and there will be some theory as well as some practice.
This is great. Yes, absolutely. And as a reminder, we do use Google Classroom. لكن الأساتذة أنا راكم working Moodle. Moodle is a little bit more tricky, I would say, not complicated, but just tricky. But Google Classroom is very easy. Like it's very straight to the point, and ما فيش a long learning curve. It's very simple to use. Donc الأستاذة she will be posting your material في الكلاس work. احنا نحط لكم des tutoriels comme ça تقدروا تشوفوا وتتعلموا comment ça se passe. Après, tous les cours راح يكونوا في Google Meet. Donc on n'utilise pas Zoom, on utilise Google Meet, which is very easy. And as needed, she will break you up into small groups. It's very interactive. It's very fun, as the reviewer just mentioned earlier. It's very interactive, and you will learn a lot. Definitely, you will become a different learner and a different professor after taking Dr. Amina's course. And we have 2 more minutes with Ustada because we do not want to take a lot of her time. And then we will need to close this live. Again, لكن حبيتوا تسجلوها والرابط نحطه لكم هنا في the comments. If you have more questions for us, you can email us at dzlimitless@gmail.com. All the details are on limitlesslearning.us. All the details are on the website تاعنا. عندنا aussi un numéro de téléphone donc نحطه لكم لكن عندكم des questions. Again, عندكم la promo حتى le 28 juillet لكن حبيتوا vous bénéficier de la remise de 10 000 dinars. And Dr. Amina, if you have anything else to add to close this live, please go ahead and do that. And I'll just post the phone number for them.
Well, thank you so much for hosting this. I remember from last Q&A session we had, a lot of people came back to you with questions via emails, and I'm also happy to have consultation sessions with anyone who is curious about the course as well. So please feel free to contact me on LinkedIn. Facebook is personal, LinkedIn is professional. That's what I usually do business. So happy to interact as well on LinkedIn.
Thank you so much for offering your time for consultations. Although you don't really, you don't have to, but we appreciate your time and dedication to the course. Dr. Amina Douidi is a very, very dedicated teacher. This is why she's in our team. And you will definitely end up more energized after every time I have a conversation with her. I am very energized. So if you spend the whole 2 hours taking her class, you will definitely learn a lot and come back very, very positive. So thank you again so much, everyone. يعطيكم الصحة اللي جيتوا اليوم. Merci pour les questions. يعطيك الصحة أستاذة for your time. يعطيك الصحة for answering the questions wholeheartedly. We appreciate you. We appreciate this live. And again, نشوفكم إن شاء الله في الكور مع دكتور أمينة اللي يبدأ لو 4 أوت. ما تنسوش تسجلوا. ما بقاش بزاف الوقت وما بقاش بزاف البلاص. يعطيكم الصحة.
Thank you, Dr. Shidadi. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Salam.